The Discovery Farms program is important to Wisconsin because it is a producer-led group that is based on reality, and it discovers the facts of what's going on our landscape, and it is very good for dairy farmers to have the true facts of what's happening and what the results are of what we do.
I worked at the University of Minnesota Southwest Outreach and Research Center located in Lamberton, Minnesota in the late 80s and early 90s as an assistant scientist. We often shared our research findings at field days. One of the complaints I often heard from farmers attending research field days was, "How can a little test plot relate to the fields of my farm?" Discovery Farms helped answer that question by gathering field scale, water quality information from different types of farming systems in landscapes all across Minnesota. Sharing water quality information under real-world conditions resulted in practical, credible, site-specific information to share with farmers so they can enable better farm management. Now, in my role as administrator of the Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District, I find Discovery Farms data extremely helpful in sharing and showing how conservation practices minimize agriculture's impacts to our natural resources.
I've been involved in the nitrogen use efficiency program with Discovery Farms, and that's enabled me to get a better handle on our nitrogen efficiency with the use of manure and commercial fertilizer and becoming the most productive and most efficient in growing our corn.
And we dairy farm. We have about 400 dairy cows, and we crop about 1,700 acres. And the main reason we got involved with Discovery Farms was we wanted to find out what we could do different, or maybe keep doing the same to help with water quality issues that we had in the Jersey Valley watershed.
We've been working with Discovery Farms for a few years. My dad, Joe, kind of got the relationship started with the idea of seeing what we're doing wrong or good with our nutrient management plans and how we apply and what ends up in the water. We've been really impressed with the accuracy of the data and how well that they maintain our site. Definitely take note on some details out there. We'd like to learn just what we're doing wrong or maybe good, and how we could use this data to better our farming practices, potentially save us some money down the road by applying inputs where they're needed or they don't find their way into the water as quickly.
By participating in this research, we're able to see if the basic research that's done in laboratories can be applied on farm, and if the on-farm research has any other restrictions that are unknown, or and if that research can be applied on farms.
2020 will be my 7th and I believe final year in working with Tim Raditz and the program. I have had an exceptional experience with them. They are great people to work with. I have found that some of the practices that I have developed have not changed as much as I thought they would, primarily because I have gotten fairly good grades on my report cards every year when we go through the data. And that is the main reason that I chose to be a Discovery Farms participant. The information that is derived from the program is real data.
And we do, as you can see in the background, some winter grazing with our stock cows, and our Discovery Farm is below the watershed from where this is, so it's been real pertinent information for us to see what kind of water quality we have coming off the land that we graze during the winter time. We've been at Discovery Farm for 6 years now, and it's been a really good project. We've been working with our local land management office, who was instrumental in getting us to be part of this. The big thing that I find with this Discovery Farm project is that it's real life data off of our farm that we can see and utilize in our own farming management. And also it is data that gets shared throughout the state of Minnesota and sometimes the country as far as improving water quality and dealing with real life numbers and whatnot for water quality. I always figure if you can't measure it, you can't do anything about changing it.
Discovery Farms research is really important for the simple fact that, one, it's done on real farms. It's not done on university farms. It's not done on technical farms. It's done on the real world, on the farms that the producers work on. This helps us out very much in the legislative arena for Wisconsin Cattlemen's Association because it gives us credibility that we're doing it. And the big thing about Discovery Farm research, it's initiated by farmers. By being initiated by farmers, we're proving the fact that we are not afraid to show any results that are produced on these farms through our research.
We've, as a consultant, I deal with a lot of DNR issues, a lot of issues in DATCAP, with soil erosion. I work with a lot of large livestock farms, and we have a lot of regulations that get put upon us. And it's nice to have some real world data, things that we can hang our hat on and say, look, we're doing the right thing here.
Well, I was on the Minnesota Milk Board and was, when we started to just get Discovery Farm started in Minnesota, I was very interested in that because I'd heard a little bit about it a few years earlier when Wisconsin was doing the program. And the water quality issues have been really high on my list because of some things that had happened in our county and township in Minnesota, and so then I decided that it was meant to be. I needed to go do that.
And do you think it's important to get data from real working farms to
Yes.
know what's going on?
It's the most important because it's the only way to it is. It's absolutely the most important thing because it's the only way to get accurate data to either corroborate or dispel some of the things that are being said about agriculture in Minnesota and the United States.
Having someone actually doing in-field testing, doing the types of things that we need that's going to give us the information to solve issues. Every industry has issues. They don't have a way of trying to solve them. And the information that we gather from Discovery Farms research is just amazing in leading us in the direction that we need to go.
Redwood County has received too much rain for a number of years now. Some parts of the county, where I farm, have had flooded soils and the accompanied erosion from runoff far too often. The field being monitored by Discovery Farms has long, sweeping, but gently rolling hills. When the soil is saturated and rain is excessive, gully erosion takes place. This happened 2 consecutive years. A quote attributed to Albert Einstein is that insanity is doing the same thing over and over, but expecting different results. That was the way I farmed the monitored field. No more. I started to experiment with tillage, and I'm sure the neighbors thought I was insane. However, what I found out was the less tillage I did, the higher the yields. Also, I have been utilizing cover crops to reduce erosion and build organic matter. I am still learning what does and doesn't work with cover crops. I am very appreciative that Discovery Farms helped me document my efforts with data. This data has given me confidence to implement practices that are feasible to other fields.
I like the idea when it was first presented to me as farmer-led research on farming and conservation, and I got involved because I was invited to attend on behalf of the Wisconsin Cattlemen's Association. I was also impressed with the quality of people and the talent that they had there. I learned that there was an opportunity for people who didn't recognize that there was a box out of which they could think. I've always heard this expression, thinking outside the box. Well, okay, but a lot of farmers didn't know there was a box in the first place. And they had innovative ideas, innovative solutions, and it was sort of like opening up a farm magazine and looking at, the first thing I always go to is that page or two where farmers' ideas and solutions. I wanted to see that about conservation. Thank you for entrusting us to help you better your careers, to gain insight into water quality problems and remedies, to make more informed decisions on nitrogen management, for example, or to network on soil health, or even consider participating in the emerging science of soil biology. And please, you bring life to these meetings by extending those extemporaneous conversations that we all love from the hallway back into the room so that you can share some of those thoughts with your friends and neighbors.